Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. And the topic that we're addressing now, I may have to break it into two videos. It's called 7 Strategies for Reviving My Marriage. And this one is for women. So let's get started. First of all, at the Marriage Foundation, I don't know if you know much about us, if you've been following us, and maybe you have, and we'd love to have you become a marriage counselor our way, by the way. But we don't look for what is broken. We look for what's missing, you might say. Because in this world, the biggest problem with marriage, period, is the lack of right education. Where do we get educated about marriage? From watching sitcoms on TV, reading articles, and all of it comes, if you think about it, all the information comes from Western psychological thinking. Well, Western psychological thinking is great for looking deep into your subconscious mind, finding out what's wrong, who's got narcissism, who's got daddy issues, mommy issues. We don't care. Our belief here is that God created marriage, first of all. It didn't just happen. And because He's a loving God, and the proof of that is everywhere, He created marriage as a very special place for us to learn how to love unconditionally. And I'll get into that more. But I'm going to give you now 7 strategies, okay? And all of these are important. I don't do filler. Number 1, recognize the need that you have to live your marriage as a sacred space. I coined the phrase sacred space of marriage because if you see your marriage in that way, where it's like holy ground, and it actually is, although we're not going to get into it directly that way, and it's not religious. Holy ground doesn't mean that it's Jewish or Catholic or Buddhist or Muslim. It doesn't mean that. Those are paths to God. It means that you recognize that you found and married your soulmate. And that's huge. That's not this small thing. It's huge. And marriage is not your normal thing in life. It's not like getting a job where you get a job and after a while you part company, you look for another job. It's not even like raising kids where you have your kids and you raise them and you go through all of their stuff with them and then they go off on their own. This is really unique because you're connected to your soulmate. You've made a promise to your soulmate and they to you. It's a very sacred space. Recognize that and start behaving in a way that is more respectful, more responsible, more like if you go into a church, you don't just take your shoes off and walk around. You have respect for where you are. Have respect for the fact that your marriage is the sacred space in your life. Number 2, recognize the prime purpose of marriage. We all get married because we fall in love. We don't think about it like, well, what is actually the purpose of marriage? Why do I need marriage? And sure, there's plenty of reasons to get married, like wanting to be with your soulmate, wanting to hang out with them, wanting a family, wanting to raise children together, wanting to be part of that community of married people. There's a lot of good reasons, but there's one overriding purpose. And that purpose, you're going to be surprised by this, is to learn to love unconditionally. You see, no matter what you think we're all on a spiritual path. We're all going towards God in some fashion. And the highest path is love. Love is the highest wisdom. Love is everything. We get married out of love. We get married to experience love. But we need to learn how to love unconditionally, because that's the love that's sitting there waiting for us to experience. And that will bring unbelievable happiness. But we don't do it consciously. Now, strategize that I will learn to love my husband unconditionally. And, we have courses and all that, and we teach people how to be marriage counselors. We teach people whose marriage is totally on the verge. And literally every marriage counselor out there, except for us, says it's over. And we save them left and right. This is because I didn't come from a school of Western psychology. I was a divorce mediator back until 2001, when a couple of my clients asked to save their marriage. And we all thought communication skills were necessary, learning how to divvy things up, the normal stuff. But that's not how you save a marriage. It's not only about communication. Communication's an important, but not the biggest part. The biggest part is learning how to love unconditionally. When you start down that road, your heart opens up like it's supposed to open up. Number 3, and this is something that kind of ties to that. And number 3 is study marriage as you would study a subject in school. Now, for that, because we don't know about marriage in our world. We're not taught. Even the people who go to premarital classes, and trust me, I've known everyone in every situation you can imagine, because almost 23 years of doing this. The world doesn't get marriage, doesn't understand it. So use one of my books, either Breaking the Cycle, which I wrote way back so that I could start training marriage counselors who were already marriage counselors, or Lessons for a Happy Marriage. It's a little more simple, but it still has all of the knowledge you'll need. It's a great template. So, okay, I'm going to do one more, and then we'll take a break and do the rest in a second video. So number 4, this is kind of cool. Recall your first memories of when you found your soulmate. And this is a strategy because if you do this on a regular basis and remember how you saw him, remember how you wanted to do things for him, remember how you treated him, remember how even though he did klutzy things, remember, you ignored it. Do you still do it that way? Probably not. And so make it part of your strategy to bring back that realization that you found your soulmate and he should be treated the way you did back then. Not only that, but you should have in your mind those feelings that you had, the enthusiasm, the excitement that you had. And in case you don't make it to the second video, I hope you like this video. Certainly, if you subscribe, you'll see the second video. And remember, we're here. We're a nonprofit. We're here as a service. I discovered the truth about marriage, you might say. And it's going to create a big revolution in the world, because Western psychological practices don't fit marriage, and ours do, and it's thorough. We have it all outlined. And please, if you have any desire to become a marriage counselor, look into that. Go to our website. We've made it really affordable, Also, we've made it where we're going to send you business, so to speak, and everything works. Everything works because we're trying to spread the word. So stay tuned for number 2. God bless you. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and take care. Take care.